Welcome to Steps Forward with Ricki, a weekly walking podcast designed to help you take steps forward in your life and your day. I am going through a thing right now. Not like a serious thing, just a thing. I've been this one type of person operating in a certain way for the last year, especially the last 8 months with, starting walking away from weed and my TikTok community and all the things. And I have been slowly evolving and growing into this new version of myself, and I am struggling between the two. And I remember there was a time in my life where I would have dreamed to be the person I am now, in the place that I am now. And I am so grateful to be here, to have a successful business, a successful podcast, you guys, programs, living in LA. I feel so grateful, and I still feel that I am expanding. But I don't know how to explain it, because it's hard for me to even wrap my head around it, or it's hard for me to lean into it, honestly, because so much of the time it's like when we feel like we're expanding and things in our lives or our businesses just aren't working for us anymore, but we don't know exactly what we're looking for or where we're trying to go. It's like, how can you walk away from something or change something when you have nothing on the other side of it? Does that make sense? I feel there are certain things in my business that really need to change, that I have to change. Not I have to, I need to change because they're literally just not working for me anymore. But I don't know what's the next step for me, and that makes me feel anxious, and that makes me feel like I can't make a change. But then I feel exhausted. And it's really hard for me to show up here without just being where I'm at. And it feels good to talk about it. I don't know why. I've always been so scared of this. It's like you do something and you have success with it, and you create something and it's going great. And then you realize that it's not that you don't love that thing, or I don't love the things that I'm doing. It's just that I want to expand. I want to fix certain things, systems that I have in place. I've always felt that everything I'm creating right now, it will always have to evolve and grow. And I've just been going, and that I haven't stopped. I literally have not stopped to breathe since the first launch of this program in February. And I feel so grateful in so many, just endless amounts of ways. I have made more money than I've ever made in my life. I have built a successful business. I've helped hundreds of people, thousands of people change their lives, because not even just people that have done my programs or my seminars, people that listen to my podcast, you guys, my TikToks, my Instagrams, it's just, the gratitude is endless. And I have a lot of fear because I know that I can't just launch one program for the rest of my life. I don't want to. I just don't want to. This happens all the time in business. People become known for something, they are that thing, and then they get burnt out, or they grow, or they expand, and they feel like, okay, but what's the next step, right? I want to take people on a journey. I'm on a journey. And the further that you get from where you started, things change, right? Where I was a year ago and 5 months ago and 3 months ago and where I'm at now, it's just the story changes. And so when the story changes, other things change with it. And it's not about not doing my walking away from weed program and not creating things for people. It's not it at all. It's just about giving myself permission to add things in, things that have nothing to do with that, things that have things to do with that, just whatever I want, honestly. Why am I so, what is it, Ricki? I'm literally talking to myself and I'm like, what the fuck? I feel it in my body. It's like fear. So much fear because I am a little tired. I'm tired of I'm just tired. And I try to ask myself questions like, are you being self-destructive, right? Are you ruining something that's great? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And it's like, not really. I can be a little destructive with my podcast. That's just because it's really hard for me without my producer, but we're working through it. I'm just ready to evolve. I am evolving, and that's the thing, is that I am, and I'm not allowing myself to. And I don't know why. What is it? Why, it's like, why not, Ricki? Why not have that and this and that and this? Create that and you can have this and does this, more is more, right? Like more is more for people to plug into my world. More episodes, more offers, more programs. And it's just, I think I'm like so scared that certain things won't work, and I'm so scared to try something new. And it's I'm an entrepreneur, like I'm an innovator, I'm a go-getter. Like it's really hard for me to stay in one place. This is the longest I've stayed in one place, and what I mean by this is the most focused I've ever been in my life. I am so devoted. I've been so devoted to my program, to my people, and I still am. That doesn't change, but if there is resistance and there is something in you that's like, okay, we need to make some changes, you can't ignore that. Something that I was reminded of today, and someone that does some work for me, she's great. And she said, something that you always say is, if you were doing the same thing you were doing right now, the same exact way that you were doing it 6 months from now or a year from now, would you be happy? And the answer is no. I would be exhausted. Not because I don't want to help people walk away from weed. Not because I don't love my community or this podcast. Not because of any of that, but because it's not sustainable the way that I'm doing it. It doesn't leave me room to create, to explore, to have different tiers of clients, to have different types, offers, and all the things. It doesn't. And it's not my fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's just like, that's just what happened. And I've learned so much from having a program that I've devoted so much energy and time to. I've learned so much about who I am. I've learned so much about business. Like, I love business. I spend half of my day learning business. Like, I'm obsessed. I'm literally obsessed about entrepreneurship and business. I consume content all day about business. And I've grown and I've evolved, and I don't feel like I'm in that story anymore. Like, I walked away from weed, but I did a year ago. And the story is going to keep evolving. It should. So should yours. We don't have to lead people with the hard things in our lives. We can lead them by just enjoying our lives. there's a part of me that feels the brand I'm building does not represent who I truly am in certain ways. It's, the way that I am. If you know me and you've been in my program and you listen to my podcast, I'm a straightforward person. That's how I communicate. I'm not super cookie cutter. I'm a little edgier. That's who I am. And I don't feel like my brand aesthetically represents that. I don't feel like I want to do a whole makeover. I want to step into that part of me that is so edgy and pushed to a creative edge. I wrote something today. I'm going to probably share it on Instagram, but I wanted to read it out loud because it's just what I was feeling in that moment. And now I realize that I can't actually read it out loud because the video is taping. My phone is videoing me right now, and it's literally on my phone. But maybe it's in my, let's see. I'll try to find it. I don't know about you, but we got to give ourselves permission to figure things out and not get so overwhelmed. And to trust the process, that it's okay to pause, to reevaluate. It's okay to have success in something and still want something different or more. It's okay to take a step back from your success to reevaluate what's working and what isn't. And you have to do that in life. You have to do that in business. You have to do that in your relationships. Nothing stays the same. The dynamic in your relationship is different than it is the first 6 months. The second 6, it's just everything is always changing. Your business too. If you're listening to this right now and, it's like someone said to me the other day, they were like, Ricki, why don't you tell anyone that you offer one-on-one stuff? I'm like, I don't know. But why don't you tell anyone that you have these all these different seminar ideas on relationships and the way that people talk to themselves? I was like, I don't know. I literally don't know, because I've been so focused that it's I'm so ADHD that if I'm not so focused, I'm so all over. But you guys, it's okay. It's okay for me to feel this way. So I just talking about it makes me feel better, and I hope it makes you feel better too, because you're this girl's losing it. I'm really not. I'm actually not losing it. I've never felt happier in my life. And that's good. That's good for people to see that you can feel happy and still be stressed and still be okay, things have to change. I am just truly internally happy, but it doesn't mean that I'm not stressed right now or that I haven't been stressed. They're not mutually exclusive. Something that I've learned is just that that is okay. You can want more in your business. You can change things. You can be stressed. You can take a step forward. You can take a step backwards. You can be confused. You can be all of the things, and you can still be happy. And that's okay. And they're both okay. And I am happy. And that is, I am so grateful for that. I would love a relationship. I know I was going to talk about that guy that I met recently at the bar, so crazy. I'll tell you another time, but I would love to be in a relationship. There are things that I definitely don't have that I want, but it's okay. Because there's a lot of things that I have that I always wanted. And you have to remember that too. And there are a lot of things that I wouldn't have right now if it wasn't for the main things of my relationship ending and walking away from weed. And that's why they're so important. And then after that, it's there are so many other things that I've done. And I want to share them all. I really do. And I know there's value in not sharing everything at once and doing one thing at a time. I get that. I see that. I've noticed that. So I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it, or just wanted to talk because I love to talk and like to share my feelings. But it's okay, this something in my business isn't working for me. The business model, the way that I'm doing certain things, not not what I'm doing, it's the way I'm doing it. And I do believe this happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when you dive into something and you just go, 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 go. Like, I have someone messaged me the other day, they're like, I literally was in your March program and I have never seen somebody just, she's like, have you taken a fucking breath since March? I'm like, no. Like, not even a little bit. But I've been having the best time of my life. Like, I love working. I love being an entrepreneur. I love creating. I love speaking. I love this shit. Like, I don't always love getting myself to do it, but I love it when I'm doing it. I love to work. I will always work. I will always want to work. But it is true. I have not really taken a break. And maybe that's catching up to me. I don't know. Maybe all of this won't matter tomorrow and I'll be remotivated and who cares, and it will all just be water under the bridge or whatever that thing is called, the canal or something. But it doesn't matter, because our feelings, they ebb and they flow, and the things that we feel one day, we can feel something different the next day, and that's just what we call life. So thanks for being a part of my life. And I hope that you know that I am so grateful for you and grateful for everyone I've ever worked with, every listener, every follower, just everyone in my world. And I hope that this teaches you that you are allowed to evolve and grow, and that I really do hope you stay as I evolve and grow. I don't want to just be the kind of person who solves one problem and then people are out. Like, I'm building a brand, a community. And the through line is me, and it will always be. And I just need to heal some certain beliefs, maybe, to keep moving. We take a million steps forward and then something stands in our way, and then we got to break through that, and then we got to keep fucking going. Okay? So keep going. Don't let a stumble put you to the ground. Don't let confusion confuse you about your whole life. It's okay. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to reevaluate. You're allowed to reconstruct. You are allowed to just be tired. And you're allowed to talk about it. And then you move forward, or you change something. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. I always will appreciate every single listener. It means the whole world to me. And if you are listening to this and you work at a company, or you're looking for a podcast guest, or you're looking for a speaker in person, maybe California, you can fly me out anywhere. Or if you are virtual and you're looking for a speaker to help shift mindset, take steps forward, walking away from weed. I mean, there's so many things that I speak on, and I'm really getting back into my speaking career. I miss it so much. So I'm here and looking for speaking gigs and to be a podcast guest and all of the things. Yes, all of the things. All right, I'm going to go in the hot tub, but just a few reminders. If you are struggling with walking away from weed, we have the First Step seminar. You can plug into the replay. And there is the Walking Away from Weed program that is going to be at the end of October. So definitely get on that and don't keep waiting. As I said before, things are going to change, and the structure of that will be changing as well as soon as I figure it out. And as always, I hope you had a good walk. I love you, and I will see you guys next Monday.